Behind the Cape. Got a lot of DC stuff to talk about this week. And you want to start off with the fact that is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Did I pronounce it wrong?
Yes, it's not DC. It's
Yikes. Should we start off with Blue Beetle news? Should we start off with The Flash?
I don't care, bro.
Bro, The Flash has been making me laugh this entire week. Just the fact that it didn't even come close. I mean, to call yourself the best superhero movie?
They copyrighted the name of the best superhero movie ever. Ever.
Just to come out and lay a goose egg. Ending its theatrical run with $268 million.
Wow.
That is crazy. On a supposed $220 million budget.
That's light. I promise you that's light.
Supposedly.
I promise you that's light. That is some type of failure. And so we mentioned this way back. Like when James Gunn first got hired, that one of his biggest, hurdles to get over was that some of the movies from the old regime are still being made.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff is going to have to come out before we can get to his reinventions of some of the titles and the characters, right?
Yeah.
And so now on our reputation post James Gunn's hire, we've got The Flash, which was an absolute stinker.
Yep.
We've gotten Shazam, which wasn't much better.
Yep.
We've gotten we're getting Blue Beetle, which the audience scores are pretty high for right now. We'll see where the money shakes out for Blue Beetle. Sure. And then to close out the year, we've got Aquaman. So just looking at the things that we have numbers on right now theatrically, I wanted to pose the question because it was very funny to talk about in the moment, and kind of, label this guy and shun him and kind of, degrade him while he was down, right? Which one of those films that I just named outperformed Black Adam? Which one out of Blue Beetle and Aquaman coming up is going to outperform Black Adam? What did Shazam do? I know that movie got its teeth kicked in too.
Shazam.
I think Black Adam was just shy of $500 million. It was like 470 or something like that.
So Shazam box office $133.8 million.
No, worldwide, like the numbers internationally and domestic.
$134 million.
There's no
worldwide.
fucking way. There's no fucking way, Josh. Stop playing with me.
Last sentence.
Okay. So, yes, I will pose my question again. Which one of the movies that we've seen so far has outperformed Black Adam? And off their up-and-coming slate with Blue Beetle, and which I haven't seen yet, look to see it, excited to see it, and Aquaman, which one has the prospect of outperforming Black Adam? Because it seems like what we did is watch James Gunn assert his newly formed power to boot Dwayne Johnson and Henry Cavill the hell out of the DC universe because he doesn't like them apparently, and then proceed to pick and cherry pick the parts that he did want to keep from it, and none of it has been successful so far. So like, I'm not even saying that James Gunn can't make a good Superman movie. I have no clue. But I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm not saying that he can't reinvent Batman and make a good movie out of that. I have no clue. I'm saying by the time that we get to any of that, the trust in the brand of DC is going to be in the septic tank. So like, again, and that was something we predicted months ago. It was the same thing that happened with Fox. By the time that stuff comes out, who's excited to see X-Men? By the time you get to New Mutants and Dark Phoenix, who wants to see another X-Men movie? I'm excited to see what Aquaman does, honestly.
I am too, but only because I assume it's going to do just as bad as some of the.
We haven't even seen a trailer for Aquaman. Aquaman come out in what, November? Dog. Okay, so that's a good segue, right? November is going to be the battle of the superhero studios. They got one more release, each of them. Marvel's got the Marvels. DC's got Aquaman and the NATO trial on global warming. Which one of those movies is going to perform the best? I want to ask the audience, so y'all comment, y'all tell us which one of those two is going to do the best, and I'm also asking you.
I think clearly the Marvels does way better because I think there's actual anticipation for the Marvels, even if.
But
it's
is it
not
good
all,
anticipation?
even if it's not all positive anticipation, there is at least some anticipation. There is almost next to no anticipation for.
Well, they haven't shown us anything. Well, let me correct that and rephrase it. They have shown the movie a lot. They just haven't shown any trailers. Because they've screened the thing over 30 times. So there's a lot of people walking around who've seen this shit.
Yeah.
But we haven't got anything. We haven't got no teasers. We haven't gotten a poster, I don't believe. I don't think we've seen any art from the movie yet.
Well, considering your actor is not going to be able to give you promo for it.
That's true.
You better do something.
That's true.
Because otherwise, you're not going to have anything going into this movie.
Another thing is, man, they don't have the boo-boo star herself on their roster being at Marvel. Right? They don't have Miss Angry Pooper in their cast to hide or remove or whatever.
Angry Pooper is crazy.
they don't have an Amber Heard to kind of push to the back or edit out or whatever they did.
Yeah.
If they did anything at all. I mean, who knows? They could have just stuck with what they had, but we'll see. We'll see. I think the Marvels too.
The situation.
Not because it's going to be that much better on the screen, but because they have less hurdles to clear.
Yeah.
They have less hurdles to clear. Literally, if they were just if I thought the Marvels was leaning more onto a compelling story with these three characters, then I have a lot more confidence in the movie. But everything from the name to the cast to, what we've been hearing behind the scenes lets me know that this is probably setting up to be another like whispering fart from the MCU. As much as I don't want to say that, right? Because I'm a fan of Nia DaCosta. I'm a fan of Tiana Paris.
You're a fan of Brie Larson.
Fan of Iman Vellani.
You're a fan of Brie Larson.
So I just don't make me do that. I don't have anything bad to say about Brie Larson. I have nothing bad to say about her.
Okay, then say it.
But I have nothing bad to say about Brie Larson. But in any case, I'm not feeling it. It's not there.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't do this right. In my opinion.
I would agree. Yeah, if it wasn't going up against a DC movie, I would be concerned for it. But it's going up against probably what's going to be one of the worst performing DC movies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the real question is, what bombs harder, Aquaman or The Flash? Well, I mean, The Flash had Keaton. The Flash had Clooney. Flash had a digitally created Nicolas Cage.
The Flash had trailers. The Flash
had the greatest superhero trailer ever, according to Den of Nerds.
Yikes. The Flash had Ezra Miller on the red carpet, even though he probably shouldn't have been there. Aquaman's got
Nothing. They have Super Pooper as Mira. Oh my God, man. Hey, look. I can't call it. If I had to put some money on it, I guess I'd say the Marvels.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd say the Marvels.
I think you should. What's going on with your girl, Gal?
So, apparently, there was no conversation about Wonder Woman being co-created with Saffron and Gunn. What the fuck is going on, yo? Like, we just talked about, all of the middling projects that were already in development that are coming out now. But what is going on in terms of communicating? Like, is he just flat out lying to us, though? Like, first it was, Henry Cavill was never going to be my Superman. But then he shows up in Black Adam and tells everybody how he was invited back by Warner Brothers and all this other shit. And then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is telling everybody about how he culminated it and worked it out and got it clear with the old regime and everything like that. And so, yeah, no, it literally was what was said in the first place, that he was supposed to be a bigger part of the reorg and then ended up not being, right? And then he has the spat with Josh from Den of Nerds, where he tells him, oh, Gunn hates Henry Cavill.
His name is Dan of Nerds.
Anyways, he hates Henry Cavill, and then he beefs with the YouTuber, kind of juicing him up overnight for no fucking reason.
You gotta beef with Nate Moore.
And then all of a sudden, anything that we heard about, Henry Cavill being in the Flash movie goes away.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, okay, well, maybe that's coincidental. Maybe they were already going to delete Cavill, and it is what it was, right? And then we had the Ben Affleck shit. Mm-hmm. Oh, Ben Affleck's going to co-write a Batman movie with me. I will never make another movie with DC ever again. Ever again. That is absolutely false, is what came out of Ben Affleck's mouth.
Yeah.
Now we had the Gal Gadot shit floating. Oh, yes, I'm going to make a movie with Peter Safran and James Gunn.
The accent is crazy.
We have never said that we would be developing a movie beyond the Paradise Lost shit that they have coming out next year. What is going on, bruh? What's going on? Why does everybody think or not think that they're working with you? He hates Henry Cavill. He saw The Rock as a threat to his power at DC.
As he should.
Right? I think he favors Gal Gadot and Zachary Levi, but Zachary Levi's movie sucks, and Gal Gadot is meh. Mm-hmm. She's meh. I think people like her as Wonder Woman. I think she's a fine Wonder Woman. I think she was portrayed the best in Zack Snyder's universe. But her movies were hit or miss. They have one to go off of from 2017, and then her latest at bat was atrocious. So it's kind of a toss-up. I think you could gain as much from casting a new actor and starting over as you would retooling a holdover from a failed regime, right? It's not so much as Gal Gadot as it is the potential of growing Wonder Woman under a new character who has a little bit more longevity to play her. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just kind of like bad timing for her. Good looking Wonder Woman, but came in under a terrible regime, and that allowed her to be used in some pretty pissy ways. A cameo in fucking Shazam 2. Like, come on, man. She's better than that. Like, she literally is better than that. Shazam 1 only shows Superman's chest. They show all of Wonder Woman and let her flirt with Billy Batson. No respect. No respect. None. So, yeah, I it doesn't seem like there's a clear direction at all going on in DC.
She'll be okay. She's working on Snow White.
Who's working on Snow White?
Gal Gadot.
Doing what?
I think she plays the witch.
She's in the Disney Snow White?
Yep.
Oh, Gal.
Yep.
Gal. Come on, man. You didn't need another stinker like that. You already had Wonder Woman 2.
Nope, she's gonna play the witch.
Wonder Woman 1984. You don't need.
I saw an interview.
Well, she's had some stuff in the middle. She had Murder on the Orient Express. She's had. What else have I seen from Gal Gadot in the last year or so?
Why do I feel like no, she wasn't in any Fast and Furious?
I'm just saying she doesn't need any more like high profile bombs. But that's not it.
Yeah, no, she's gonna be in Snow White. I saw her do a interview with Homegirl, and all they were talking
Ziegler?
about is and all they were talking about is how great this is gonna be for women, and I'm just like, oh brother.
Okay. For the women in our comment section, do you think that young women gain anything from over the top?
She was in Fast X.
Fairy tales. Yeah, Fast X. Fast X made what, $700 million?
Yeah.
Off of a $350 million budget. So maybe that thing scraped up. See, we were under the impression that they were just raking in the cash in Fast and Furious.
They were for a second, though.
Fam,
They were doing really good, and then they just kind of halted.
that sounds like they might have netted like $50 million.
It was
Maybe.
$719 over $340 budget.
$719 over $340.
$719 million worldwide.
Okay, so if they made $719, they probably cleared about $300 million of that. So maybe they were pretty close to the break-even point.
Yeah.
But breaking even off of a $350 million movie is nuts. That's
A $350 million movie is nuts.
like Jesus Christ. But I mean, it takes a lot to get, Dom Toretto to do a loop-de-loop over the moon.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Yeah. Blue Beetle.
Yeah,
Blue Beetle is out. Supposedly it's doing pretty good as far as audience scores go. And it's made a little bit of money, not anything crazy. I think probably actually one of the worst opening weekends. But it's a random weekend in August. I'll give it some time. I'll give it till Labor Day. Hopefully word of mouth picks up. And
you'll have to see how it legs out for sure. We're pretty close to back to school, so people will try to, hit the last little movie before school starts. It'll be like one of those last summer things, one of those last summer outings. So if the word of mouth is good and they can get people to start coming out, if the Latino community kind of culminates around it in a Black Panther-esque. I hate how every non-white property ends up being a Black Panther version. You know what I mean? Like, not to do that.
Like, people don't dress up for other movies.
Yeah, other movies and stuff. But like, just to have that type of energy around it would help it leg out. Cultural energy is very, very strong when you talk about word of mouth advertising. Yeah. So, from what I've heard, it is pretty culturally relevant. It doesn't seem like it's cash grabby in that way. And that's just from the few people that I've heard review it. So I have to see it for myself and give you my determination. But I mean, we'll have to see. We'll just have to see. It's already made more than, I think, Flash and Shazam in its opening. I want to say.
No, I think The Flash actually outdid it. I don't know if Shazam did, though.
Well, it outperformed The Flash in the previews, like in the early previews.
Blue Beetle opens to 43.4 million worldwide.
What was The Flash?
Flash opened to, it says 75 overseas and 139 globally.
Whoa. Okay. Shit.
But Shazam, I think, was...
Well, we still got some days, right? We haven't counted all of today. So if it's at 43 right now, we'll see what it ends up being tomorrow.
Shazam opened up to 65.5 million global.
And that's on a sequel, so I'm still giving Blue Beetle the edge on that.
Well, Blue Beetle also has Sunday
to do. Yeah, so they're about to pass Shazam for sure.
Yeah.
You're talking about an established audience versus a brand new character breaking into the market. So it's pretty fucking sad, to be honest with you.
Very sad, actually.
Yeah. If they don't have that precipitous 70% drop in the second weekend, it has a chance to make some money.
Very possible.
It's not going to touch $1 billion. It's not going to be at 800, 900 million. Mm-hmm. But is it enough that it could entice the studio to make a sequel? Is it enough to entice the studio to include this character in other up-and-coming DC properties? I would say so. At least it's enough to warrant the conversation around it for sure. If it doesn't fall off the cliff.
I think it's very possible that it does have a week 2 down spiral, but it possibly rebounds, especially with Labor Day coming up. That's how I'm going to predict it, I guess.
We shall see, and I'll be checking it out next week. Tell us what you thought about everything we discussed here today. Put it in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week for another, what are we doing, Behind the Cape episode.
House Divided.
That's not what we're doing.
Absolutely. Make sure you check out our previous House Divided. Make sure you check out our previous Behind the Cape episode where we discussed Homegirl from Snow White. Absolutely tripping. And then make sure you subscribe. We like to do this at least once a week.